So guys, I want to preface this video before I get into the video. I had to add in this part to let you know that there's actually a shorter edited version of the prophecies in today's video that are going to be pinned down in the comment section, where I edited it all the way down to just the prophetic declarations and just the prophecies only. Okay, so if you want, as far as sharing purposes, you want something shorter to share, that will be down there pinned in the comment section. If you just don't have time to listen to this entire video, it will be pinned in the comment section. If you're just, one of those people that feel like you just want to hear the prophecy of what's going to happen and what's coming, and you don't necessarily, want to know the full picture and all of the understanding or the full, clarity of what's actually happening and what's going on and everything that the Lord had to put forth, I did want to also offer those shorter clips for you guys, and that will be pinned in the comment section below. But at the end of the day, whatever is your pleasure or your poison, whatever is for you, at the end of the day, everyone, please at least make sure you partake in the prophetic declaration portions of it and pray along with those prayers and prophecies and declare them and come into alignment and agreement with them in Jesus' name, and at least share the shorter ones. This longer version, I highly recommend it. I highly recommend to know everything behind the scenes of what's actually happening and everything that the Lord had to say, aside from just telling you what's going to happen in the future or what's coming or, things like that. So I did want to let you know that the shorter version is down in the comments below and available. God bless everyone. This is Minister Hagar, Prophetess Hagar from Eagle Army Ministries. Good morning, good afternoon, one and all. Now, I wanted to remind you guys that, remember I told you in my last video, I believe it was this video, The Wealth of the Wicked, remember I told you that I had to go on a little Holy Spirit detour regarding the Sheba update. So I just want to remind you that I gave you guys a heads up that things may get taken in a bit of a different direction. That's just how things go. Sometimes when you're just flowing and going with the Spirit, and you just have to follow it and go in that direction. Now, today I have two prophecies regarding the stock market and also the crypto market, okay? And these are very important prophecies and words that I need to get out there, speak out there, get out in the atmosphere, declare them. And I also need to prophesy over you guys. Specifically, these prophecies are for the children of God. So very important. This is another reason why I had to take this detour. Some things are so time sensitive, you kind of have to get them out there as soon as possible to get the ball rolling and to get out ahead of, the situation. With Sheba, we've already done so much work towards that. Sheba is in a good place right now. Everything that is supposed to be happening with Sheba is, everything that's supposed to start it has started. Everything is, passing with flying colors with Sheba. So as for right now, Sheba is in a great place. So it's kind of like you got to put your attention on some of these other issues as far as time is concerned, because we got out way ahead of the game with Sheba. We started all the way back in April with our warfare and our prayers and our open the portals and stuff. And so since we got so far ahead of the game out there with all that, things have been running relatively smoothly with Sheba. And it's not really a pressing concern at this moment, but, we do have to keep an eye on it and keep up with it and continue to pray. It's just that at this moment, there are other pressing matters right now. And honestly, the updates I was going to give you guys was more so of just sharing where it's at and how a lot of the things that the Lord said would happen are being fulfilled. It wasn't anything like, that's basically what it was, just giving you an update. So that brings me to why I'm here with you today. Very important, like I said, and this is a time sensitive thing. So before I hop into today's prophecy, I just want to mention a quick thing regarding my most recent video that I uploaded the other day about the wealth of the wicked. And I believe that was uploaded on September 21st, right? Now, fun fact, I actually, even though it was made public on the 21st, I actually recorded this the night before, which would have been September 20th. And I just had a very hard time on getting it properly uploaded. And so it wasn't made public until the next morning. Guys, this is just so amazing because, and obviously, if you guys remember right here, I even was saying that things are going to get much worse. But obviously, that's something we should be glad about. The worser things get for the world, as far as the world goes. And that was literally recorded on the 20th and made public on the morning of the 21st. And I know I kind of shared this in the community section with some of you that saw it, but I wanted to make sure that I shared this with everyone in this video. That, guys, when I recorded that video on the 20th and posted it Wednesday morning on the 21st, I was so clueless and out of the loop as far as I had no idea this whole Fed rate hike thing was even set to happen on the 21st, on Wednesday, the same day that I posted that. So I had posted that like early in the morning. I believe it was between like 10 and 11 a.m. And then I believe in the afternoon, like between 2 to 4 p.m., that's when this whole Fed rate hike thing happened. And then everything that happened with the markets after that. So I didn't even know that was going to happen when I was speaking and prophesying about Egypt and things are going to get worse and all of the downturn in economics, the stock market's crashing and everything I was saying in that video. I didn't even know about that this was scheduled for today. So even in a few short hours, guys, of me releasing that video and speaking those things, we had, obviously, as you guys know now, the Fed came out and raised the interest rates again, as you see in the article. Let's look down here in the article. Let's jump actually down into the article itself. It says, stocks wavered on Wednesday, but finished the session deep. Guys, that word, the deep, in the deep, that is a biblical term that means the water or the seas when you're deep underwater. So the markets finished the session deep in the red. So literally the Red Sea. After the red waters or the bloody waters that we had been talking about, after the Federal Reserve announced another 75, which from what I'm learning, that is very high. And he actually already has said I'm going to be raising more and more and more. And so what this is showing us is that every time he raises it, the market goes into panic and crashes. So if he's already saying, today I'm raising it pretty high and I'm going to be raising it a few more times coming soon, then that means the market is going to continue to get pummeled and affected and plummeting each time he continues to do this. And so it says Federal Reserve announced another 75 basis point rate hike. Okay, now this is the important part. Now keep in mind, like I said, this is the same exact day that I posted my video. This just happened a few hours later, guys. So look at the power of God. I had no idea this was coming. And even if I did, look at the outcome of exactly how things played out. It is clearly the Lord, because it says, let's look at the title, Stock Slide, the Dow Closes. That means that when he raised the rate hikes, it caused the stock market to, I wouldn't call it a crash, but it was a pretty serious plunge down into the negative because it closed out in negative. They don't have the negative up here, but it lost 522 points. So it closed in the negative minus 522 in the red, which is pretty significant for one day. I mean, it's pretty significant. And so the Dow closed 522 points lower in volatile trading session. So it's becoming more and more volatile every day. It's getting worse. Exactly like the prophetic word said that it was going to get. And so this is just confirmation when I said I needed to go on that detour. Guys, look how you have to respond to the spirit and act. I literally had to make that split-second decision and get this Wealth of the Wicked prophecy video recorded and out, and boom, I ended up getting it done and released literally a few hours before this happened. So this is kind of like a lesson of obedience, and when you respond and react and follow and obey the Lord, just think about if I had waited just even a few more hours or a few more days, or if I had went ahead with the Sheba videos, then tried to get back to this. You see how everything perfectly fit in alignment, and I was able to speak that out into the atmosphere and command that situation. And it was literally down to the hour where it was able to catch up to affect the situation of bringing those things to pass. And so, guys, look, it closed exactly negative 522 in the red. We already had been talking about 5 with the number grace, right? And we all know by now that 22 is our number, our prophetic number for the year 2022 and double portion. So it's literally the Lord, within a few hours after that prophecy, continued to plummet the market down even lower, just like it said in the prophecy, exactly 522 points, which was a releasing of grace for double portion for this year regarding us. Even though it manifested in a negative way for the world, that is needed, like I explained clearly in my Wealth of the Wicked transfer, that for them to plummet down is needed for us to get risen up. So, guys, it gets even better. Let's hop down to the last paragraph. It says the Dow Industrial Average shed 522.45 points. Now that's the amount in points, was the 522. Let's look at what that equal to exactly in percentage. 522, if you transfer that over to percentages, it equals exactly 1.7%. which in turn is 17, our other prophetic number, the biblical number for victory. Guys, first off, just take a second and let's just worship the Lord. Like how mighty and awesome and powerful and wonderful he is. And we do serve a promise-keeping God. But at the same time, can somebody please tell these people to stop playing with our God? Like, honestly, please stop playing with our God. Just stop playing. Like, for your own good, just stop it. I really honestly wish they would stop, because, oh my goodness, this is just not going to end well. So that actually leads directly into why I'm here today when we're talking about the market crash, okay? Now, there's a little bit of a flip side to that regarding the children of God, right? Because even though that is for Egypt, it's going to destroy Egypt, it's not going to destroy us, obviously. We're going to be protected through it. We're going to end up getting supernatural provision and everything like that released to us. However, as this situation is playing out, we do physically we live in Egypt, right? We're surrounded by Egypt. We still partake and operate off of the same systems and things, right? Even though we're not of the world, we are still in the world. And so as these things are happening, that is God's will. That is meant and intended for the world and the wicked. At the end of the day and at the same time, the wicked has planned that and orchestrated that to try and harm God's people, right? And harm people in period, everybody. And including in that is us. And obviously, like I said, being very realistic and down to earth, at the end of the day, the reality is we still live inside of the same environment and system. Okay. And because of that, there's going to have to be some tactic and strategy, right? It's just exactly like the Red Sea. When we talk about the Red Sea moment, you had Pharaoh at their back, right behind them. You had the water in front of them. And so it was a very tight, tumultuous situation. It wasn't just an easy breezy scenario where they just skipped off into the sunset, right? Even though at the end of the day they were protected and he made a way, it still kind of presented a little bit of a tight situation, and a couple of moments of where things were kind of pressed to the edge, if that makes sense to everybody. And so even when he parted the sea and they had the dry land path, that was a narrow path, guys. They had a wall of water up on their left and a wall of water, up on their right, two tsunamis, very powerful tsunami waves on each side of them. And so even though they were brought through it and a way was made out of it, at the end of the day, they were still surrounded by that atmosphere, okay? And so that was going to have to be some tact and strategy, and there is going to have to be some things that will have to be put in place, guys, in order to properly guide us through the situation and out the other end safely. Okay. I hope I'm explaining that clearly. And so that brings me to this sign. Remember, we had been dealing with prophetic signs that have been manifesting in every walk of life, in every area, in all of existence and creation, all of these signs. Well, I had previously got this sign and I knew it was for me. I knew it was for us, but I had been holding on to it, waiting for the proper time and waiting for the full understanding of exactly what the Lord was saying by this. And now I have everything. And now that I understand it, it's very important that I interpret it, that I prophesy regarding it, and that I release the word over you guys. So let's take a look at the sign. It says, bald eagle, ding, ding, ding. We obviously know that's for us now. Swoops in and attacks an adult Alaskan grizzly bear. This is so wild. And guys, this is not a cub that the eagle was tussling with or picking on. This was like a full-grown adult grizzly, guys. Let's look a little bit more into what's happening here. I'm down here in the article. It's saying, what in the great outdoors? Remember when we talked about signs that when they're of the Lord and from the Spirit, that they're unusual. They're usually unusual, very, prominent events, kind of weird or strange, or not that common or rare, or something very attention grabbing, I should say also. And so this is obviously why they're saying, what in the great outdoors? Because this is not an altercation you're going to see every day. I mean, let's be honest. This seems like a bit of a mismatch to me. A grizzly weighs about 500 to 600 pounds. Wow, massive. While a bald eagle only up to 15 pounds, and that's even at their largest. So look at this huge size and weight discrepancy, right? Where you would think there's no way these two animals have any business with interacting with each other. The eagle would be crazy to ever even try to approach something this large and ferocious. It's like, but at the end of the day, the eagle was the aggressor and it went to attack this full-grown, massive 500 to 600 pound grizzly bear, even though it was outsized and outweighed by, what is that? I don't even know how many times that is, but obviously it's a lot. Let's continue. When you look at some animals like this, your first thought would be the interaction would be something with the grizzly attacking the bird or the bird's nest, while the eagle was very wary of a creature this large. So what they're basically saying right there is that if you were to see or even hear somebody told you about a fight between a bear and an eagle, you would assume that a bear was basically the winner or the aggressor or the champion. That's what they're trying to say. If you didn't see it yourself and someone just told you, you would assume that the bear had the upper hand and that it went after the eagle's nest or the eagle itself, and it, like, kicked the eagle's butt or attacked the bird's nest, and that the eagle was wary and, apprehensive, not wanting to fight back or getting involved. They're saying basically that's what you would assume would happen in a situation like this. That's like to the natural, logical order of things. But in this situation, this was a spirit orchestrated event. So it was out of the normal. And then they're saying jump down. But it turns out the outdoors continue to throw us some curveballs. Let's hop down. Even further down to the bottom. Out of nowhere, a bald eagle swoops down and sinks its talons, that's its claws, right into the grizzly's face, guys. Its face. Can you think about that in terms of a human fight? When we fight, we're punching people in the body, blah, blah, blah. But when you literally go after someone's face, like it literally clawed the bear's face, nearly getting its eye. I read another article about the same story, and they literally said that the eagle almost gouged the bear's eye out, literally. Let's hop down. The bear must have been close to the nest. That is the only time birds act out of the norm like this. Either way, that's the kind of encounter we can all dream of seeing once in our lifetime, okay? So they're saying this is like a once in a lifetime occurrence in nature that you would never dream to see if you wanted to. However, the Lord brought this sign, this miraculous sign and wonder forward for the benefit of his children. Now let's look at what exactly is the Lord saying and why is this important for us? If you look, what they're saying is that obviously eagles don't usually attack or go after other animals or prey that is that big or that size, obviously. And so what they're saying is that the only time that an eagle or a bird would behave that far out of the norm or like just that out there off the chain, unhinged, is because the bear had to have been in close proximity to the eagle's nest. So what does that mean? Who lives back at the nest? The eaglets, the little children eagles, the baby eagles. And so this whole situation really is speaking towards the children of the Lord, right? The baby eagles who are back at the nest, okay? And this large predator, the grizzly bear, got way too close to wherever the location was of the baby eagle nest. And so right away when I don't know if this was the mother or the father eagle, but as soon as the parent eagle saw this huge predator, like, no, bro, I'm not letting this go down. This is not playing out. You are way too close to my babies. I don't know if you're going to try and make your way over to the nest, attack them or not attack them. But the eagle obviously was not taking no chances. And it was like, you got to go. You got to go. And so that's what made the eagle attack the grizzly bear, rip into the bear's face and almost gouge his eyes out, even though it was hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pounds bigger than the parent eagle. Now, we've gathered up all our clues. What does this all mean? Well, the bear is symbolizing a bear market. That's what the grizzly bear represented, right? And so out of this, this is a double prophecy and a double word. One part of the interpretation and prophecy regarding this is for the stock market, and then the other half is for the crypto market. So we're going to start off with the bear stock market prophecy. And I have it typed up here. Guys, I wrote this up. I typed this up very early in the morning. I was half out of my sleep, so forgive if it's any like typos or misspellings or anything like that. Okay, let's hop right into it. The Bear and Eagle Prophecy regarding the stock market. The Great Bear has began its demolishing of the stock market, and the world financial systems continue to be trampled down, broken, and destabilized. It is all in my hands, and it is all my will, and I am in control of it all. This is meant to shake, tear down, and humble the proud and godless. It is not meant to harm, hurt, or weaken my precious children. Even though it is all around you, or maybe even be touching you or affecting you in some ways, I will not let it, I don't know what that word is, brawl you. I'm not sure what that word is supposed to be. I'm sure that it's not brawl. I will not let it. Oh, okay. It must have been the auto thing. I will not let it break you. It's supposed to be break. Okay, so what he's saying is that even though it's all around you, and let's just be real, it may begin to touch you or affect you in some ways, but he will not let it, get to the point where it's going to break you. It's what he's trying to assure his children of. Trust me, for I am your help and rescue. I am your deliverer that brings you out of Egypt and goes before you through the waters of the sea. Remember, my children. Remember, my children. This is speaking of the Israelites, going through the Red Sea. Remember, my children seemingly were trapped at the shores of the Red Sea with Pharaoh behind them, seemingly with no way out. And it appeared that they were trapped. But I am an on-time God. Remember that I will show up and make a way, even though it may seem like there is no way left to go. Even if it seems like it's at the last moment. Remember that, guys. I never leave my children or forsake them. Be at peace, even in the midst of destruction. Yes, the ferocious bear rises up for its season. But just as I sent Moses to guide my people to safety and freedom, today I have already sent my prophets and my messengers before this great shaking to release my power and authority, my word over it all. And my word never falls. Even as this system and its wealth falls, my word and promises I declared over you will stand through it all. The prayers and declarations by my mighty warfare army eagles will shield, cover, and protect you. Trust me, I will walk with you through it all. And now this is me adding on a prayer to the end of his word. Father, I humbly come before you in Jesus' name, calling for the angel of the Lord to go before your people, preparing the way into the promised land. I also call forth and dispatch angels of your heavenly hosts to go before us, beside us, and behind us in this transition, to not only safeguard us and help guide us, but also to assist us in warfare, prayer, and victory. And any opposition or attempted threat against your will, purpose, and promises for us in the wealth transfer will be swiftly and completely annihilated by them in Jesus' name. Thank you, Lord. Okay. Before I move on to the crypto prophecy, I just want to kind of go through this word, and you guys may want to, go back and listen to the whole thing, or, look at the written version and read through it yourself or whatever, but it was a lot being given here. So I want to kind of make sure I'm crystallizing this whole picture for you of what the purpose is and why this is important. Obviously, the purpose for all of this is how tumultuous and bad this financial situation is getting and will continue to get, right? The reason why he brought forth this sign, this is more than just, oh, we already know that the Lord is gonna carry us through it all and we're not going to be hurt by it because we're the children of God. Just saying those, I mean, yes, we are supposed to believe that in our hearts, but guys, things are more complex and more serious than just those surface level things. Like the warfare and the battle is very, very real, guys. And so whenever the Lord brings to our attention that, hey, this is something that needs to be spoken up about, prophesied over, and prayed over, it's obviously for a reason. Now, in the sign, the bear market was getting way too close to the nest, to us, okay? And that's why the eagle had to attack it. So obviously, as the bear market and as the financial shaking and quaking happens, obviously, like I said, with us still living in this environment, it can have the tendency, obviously, to touch us and affect us. And so, number one, because of that, as that can happen more and more as the days go on, and it may honestly have already started to happen with some of you out there, and the Lord wanted his people to be secure and at peace and know that, you know, he has us. He has us. Because it's easy to say that before this stuff happens. And then it's another thing to actually go through it once it starts happening. And once we start, you know, I tried to buy a bag of sweet potato fries, just a normal $2 size bag, frozen, you know, processed. Is not even fully real sweet potato. They cut it with all this cheap stuff. I tried to buy a small bag of frozen sweet potato fries and they tried to charge me literally $7 for that, guys. Something that usually costs only $2. And so I'm bringing that up to say is that it's one thing for us to just be told casually, oh, the Lord's going to take care of it, you know, and us to say that. But when the stuff hits the fan and we're actually going through it, and as these things deepen and get worse and worse and worse, and they can, just all depends, have the ability to touch us here, affect us here, you know, and us go through some of it. The Lord wanted us to we have to know what our position is in order to get through it and out the other end is what I'm trying to say. It is a real threat of fear and worry to set in once you actually are going through it and once it's happening all around you. So that is the purpose of why we have to put forth these words and declarations and reinforce our position of faith and to be at peace. That's why he wanted to go into detail with reassuring us. And also what this sign showed is that the bear did try to get very close and make that attack move towards us. And if the Lord had not intervened, it very well will be able to affect us in a very destructive and bad way. So this eagle attack is actually necessary in order to protect us and get us through it. And what is the eagle? The eagle is the army of the Lord and the prophetic, okay? The prophets, because the prophets are the carriers, literally, of the power and the word, the literal word of the Lord. And so when they're releasing that into the earth, that is literally the Lord. It's just being done through the person, you know, and through the servants and through the voices, but it's actually really the Lord. So what he's saying is that his intervention through the Lord's prophets and servants and prophetic voices and his prophetic army, that is absolutely necessary. We can't just go sip lemonade and say, oh, God's got us. No, what he's saying is is the process under heaven of things that are needed, strategies that have to be put in place in order for us to be safely covered and brought through it. That is just his system and how things have to go. He obviously would know better than any of us. And so that's why this had to be read, had to be spoken into the atmosphere, had to be declared, and had to be prophesied over the children of the Lord in order to protect that nest from being affected by the bear market. Okay. It was very, very close proximity. So now let's really quickly look into some of the details of the word that I want to highlight for you guys to kind of, sear into your memory. And guys, you will always have this video, Lord's willing, on my channel. Like, if any point in time in the future, Lord's willing, you won't have to worry about this, but just in case if things get too intense for you personally or whatever, and you feel yourself like getting worried or stressed or whatever the case may be, come back here to the video and play my word aloud, read along with it, pray it, declare it, and come into agreement and alignment with it, okay? So, a couple of things I wanted to highlight is that so he is, when we talk about, oh, we're going to have a Red Sea moment, we kind of like gloss over that in the fact that we look at it as a surface level. Oh, they got rescued and oh, Pharaoh was punished. But like I'm highlighting and detailing in this word, we have to look deeper into the details that I said before. Yes, at the end of the day, we're going to be rescued. We're going to be protected. We're going to be brought through it. But if you look at the details of that situation, they did still have some challenging things that wasn't able to, harm them or destroy them, obviously. But it was still all around them. And it did create kind of a tight situation. So while we're not supposed to respond in fear, no matter how things get, at the same time, it's like he does want us to know, he's giving us a heads up of the reality that as this plays out, it may affect you here and there in some ways. And whether that's in small ways like me having to pay $7 for fries or, gas prices, your utility bills, your grocery bill, whatever the case may be, no matter how small or large the situation may touch you here and there or affect you here and there, what he's saying is be expecting that could happen and may happen. So he's warning us ahead of time so we won't be shaken by it, is what I'm basically trying to get out to you guys. And that through it all, he's just telling us in detail that he's going to be with us. Now, going beyond just saying, oh, it's all going to be okay, he's getting very detailed, okay? Because remember, when the children of Israel were at the shore of the Red Sea, that was like a last second, split second miracle, right? Like I said, they had Pharaoh at their back and the sea before them with no way out. And what he was highlighting in here is that he is an on-time God, and that even if it comes down to appearing or looking like you are trapped with no way out, he's just saying, still don't be shaken, guys, that he is an on-time God. Guys, I don't care if at the end of all this, you're down to literally 1 cent in your bank account, or even if you go into the negative in your bank account, and I don't care how bad things may or may not get, at the end of the day, he's going to show up on time and in the nick of time. That's basically what he's trying to get across to everybody. Okay. And that's not even saying that a lot of us out there are going to be taken to that extreme point, but it may get, testy out there for some of us. We just don't know. And so he's putting out this disclaimer to be realistic, to be prepared, but most of all, don't be shaken. Even if it's down to the last second and last moment. We don't know how this is going to play out. For all I know, I could be down to the very, very wire. And then the next day he releases Sheba, So we don't know how things are going to play out. So we need to be prepared and not be shaken through it all. So yeah, I just want to highlight that of him talking about being an on-time God and that he will show up at the right moment. And that the other part I wanted to highlight was when he was saying that it may touch you or even affect you, but he won't let it break you. Okay, that's the more important part to remember. We're not going to get broken by this. That before anything, truly damaging happens to us, those things will be released. Okay, and things will be put in place by him to kind of get us through it all. And then he's saying, just as I sent Moses to guide my people to safety and freedom. Oh, he's reassuring us. So that eagle, the picture of the eagle, what he's reminding us of is that he's already sent his prophets. Obviously, the prophets have been prophesying this whole situation for months and years now, okay? And so what he was saying is that I've already sent my eagles before this situation. So it's those words, it's his words that were sent forth ahead of time that are going to kick into action and shield and protect you, okay? And he's just reminding us that his words, meaning in all of the prophecies and promises and everything that he speaks over us, and even if he speaks something to you personally, doesn't have to be from a prophet, that he's reminding us that there's going to be a lot of things that fall, but his words will never fall, okay? And he's not going to leave us and forsake us. And his word will stand through all the destruction that's happening around us. See, was it anything else? Nope, that's it. Guys, if you even want to help drive things in further, you can come back here and see the part where I start with Father, where it's not him talking, but it's me praying. Come here and read through this prayer, on your own and pray along with it, declare it, and come into alignment and agreement in Jesus' name. The more we do participate in these acts of warfare, this is all going towards protecting ourselves, shielding ourselves, and bringing us out the other end of everything safely, just like the parent eagle swooped in to claw the bear before it had an opportunity to go hurt the baby eagles. Okay, in closing, I'm going to quickly go through the crypto market portion of that prophetic sign with the eagle attacking the bear. And this is the crypto market prophetic word. Speak to the crypto market mountain. Now, guys, we already interpreted the bear stock market portion of that sign, but I also felt like it was a double sign in that the bear representing the stock market obviously represents the stock market crashing and causing economic woes and hardships, but that the Lord is sending the eagle in and his army to protect the children of God, from that bear market harming or destroying us. And so when it comes to crypto, we also know that the crypto market is currently in a bear phase. And honestly, the crypto market has been in a bear season for a while now, right? Which we've all expected, and it's fine, but it's like we're also waiting on that transition for it to change from bear to bull, right? That's the whole point and the whole purpose and payout of the promise of what we're waiting on for it to make that transition and change. So I also believe that this eagle bear sign was the eagle, once again, was the prophetic, okay, and the prophetic army of the Lord, which is also not just made up of human prophets and warriors, and God's warriors and God's army as far as people, but guys, the angelic host is also in that army together as well. And so I felt like when it comes to the bear crypto market, that sign meant that to speak forth and prophesy for the transition of changing from bear to bull for our cryptos, right? to get the ball rolling, to get out there and speak towards that, because I believe that that sign meant that we're now approaching. Okay, I'm not saying we're going to wake up tomorrow and bam, boom, boom, it's going to happen. But now it's kind of like things have been put in place. Things have been set up. The ball is rolling. Things are now being set up to begin that transition from bear to bull in the crypto market. I hope that's not complicated for everybody out there who may be very new to it. But bear just means when the prices are low and crashed and not doing well. And we're waiting for the bull market where all of our, Shiba and all of our cryptos and assets will prosper and become, profitable and a high price and skyrocket and all that stuff like that. So with the eagle attacking the bear crypto market, it's like the prophetic. Now it's time for us to start speaking, that transition, breathing that life into the crypto market with it changing over to becoming bull. Okay. Speak to the crypto market mountain. This is pretty much repeating what I just explained. I just wanted to make sure that I got it out there in detail. Crypto, these are just the notes that I jotted down regarding it. Crypto positioning and setting up to begin to exit the bear phase and begin to recover and rise back up, and things are being set in place in preparation towards the bull phase and runs through warfare, prayers, and spiritual battle. Words spoken through his prophets, promises given by his spirit. His elite eagle special forces, heavenly army, both men and angels, prepared for such a time as this. Okay. So right now I'm just speaking and breathing life into the crypto market. And I believe that sign was a prophecy that now we're entering the season where things are going to begin to be put in place and in preparation for that transition from bear to bull in the crypto market. And we are approaching, okay, the bear markets, crypto market served a purpose for God's will, right? It was meant to crash down low so the prices could be cheap and all his kids could afford to get in, right? So it had a purpose in his will. But now with that sign, the eagle attacking the bear crypto market, now it's time. It's kind of like, all right, bear crypto, you've been around for a minute. You've done your job. We've all got in. We're positioned. We're good to go. Your days are winding down here. It's like we're ready, and it's approaching that time where we need to start to see that transition for that bull to rise, right? And so God bless everyone. I hope everyone understood exactly everything that I was putting forth and explaining. I got to get back to some other things, and hopefully, God's willing, I will catch up with you in my next video. God bless, love you, and see you next time.